Hey guys, Thunder E here, and welcome to episode 8 of season 2 of the weekly. Yeah, we're here and we started. I'm actually the only one live right now. Mr. Juan Bagnell cannot join us this week. He has some prior engagements. He has to do with the desert in California, so hopefully he's enjoying the sun. Warren will be joining late as usual, and Sam is having some connection issues joining in. But welcome to this week's show. So I'll try and kick things off as we speak. So a lot of news happened this week. And there's really no uselessness I can think of, so we'll kind of skip that. But we'll kind of get into some of the nitty gritty. Apple announced a lot of stuff this week. Apple announced a lot of stuff in terms of what they're doing with the Mac, they're doing with Apple Watch. They had this Spring Forward event, and it was a big deal. Apple announced a lot of stuff, but let's go ahead and check out one of the first things that Apple announced, which was the Apple Watch. We waited for this. We knew Apple had showed this before, but we wanted to actually see a better look at what Apple has in store with this device. So this is the Apple website, and the watch is coming out on April 24th. Now, the Apple Watch comes in different sizes and styling. So you have two different sizes. You kind of have I believe one's 42 millimeters and one is 38. So one's is kind of like a smaller watch face and a larger watch face altogether. This thing comes with a heart rate monitor built into it. Battery life is set to be 18 hours on the Apple Watch. Also, in terms of design and styling, you do have three options. You have the Watch Sport, the Watch, and the Watch Edition. Now, this is where a lot of things come into play. The Watch Sport is priced at $349. Can go all the way to $399 depending on what bands you decide to select. The watch itself is priced at $549. Can go up to about $599 depending on whatever bands you select. And the watch edition, this can go up to $17,000 right here for a watch. Yes, $17,000. Now, mind you, this is getting into that Rolex tag, Breitling category of wristwatches where you're spending a lot of money on that kind of stuff. So what I want to do is, since I'm here and the Q&A is open, I want to get your thoughts, on this. What do you guys think about the Apple Watch? Where do you guys see it in terms of its functionality? Because Apple basically states that this thing has 18-hour battery life. So the battery life doesn't differ from what we've seen from other devices. It's actually even less in any mindset, so to speak, compared to say your Gear watches or even the Pebble, or the Qualcomm Talk that Juan likes so much. So it's very interesting to see what Apple is offering in that terms. Now, we have a question, or at least a comment from Wayne Glasgow, who says, after seeing what Apple has to offer and the price, I think Google or Android watchmakers should make their watches iOS compatible and capitalize. Yes, that's a very good suggestion. I think that's a good thing. I think when you're talking about Android Wear and what it has to offer, I think they need to freshen up a few things in terms of the UI. The card UI doesn't really do too much for me in terms of moving things forward, but capitalizing and having it iOS compatible is such a good thing. Hopefully Google can do that, or at least people like Samsung. Samsung is considered the market leader in smartwatches because they've already released like 3 versions of their smartwatches, and Samsung should open that up to every single category from iOS to other non-Samsung devices altogether. So I think that's something that can be used to capitalize. Now, the other thing about the Apple Watch is the fact that I think Apple here is trying to place this as more of a fashion wearable than anything else. I talked about this with Juan, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Do you think the Apple Watch is considered more, at least Apple is positioning that more as a lifestyle device rather than it being a tech device? Because truth be told, they still haven't actually found a way to actually give us a a true idea of what this wearable will actually do for us. We don't know exactly what is its main focus, like any other wearable. So I'm not trying to blame Apple here or anything. I'm just saying that they have some cute things like sending out emoticon messages from watch to watch, send out heartbeats, to your girlfriend if she has a similar watch or something like that. Those are nice, but those are things you can still do off your phone. So again, I think Apple is going to face that problem, just like any other smartwatch manufacturer, into basically telling us exactly what is the use case scenario for this thing. Why should we buy it? What are the reasons that we should actually get this device from Apple? But it's just one of those things that, like I said, they will have to showcase to us. So that's the Apple Watch. Like, again, any thoughts? You guys want to jump in and give me some thoughts on what you think about the Apple Watch as I move forward? And of course, we wait for either Sam or Warren to jump in. But that's what I think the Apple Watch really is. And now the other aspect of what Apple announced at its event was the new MacBook. So there is a new MacBook which actually falls into its different categories. So we still have an update to the MacBook Air, and we do have updates to the MacBook Pro. But the new MacBook is Apple's latest design marvel, in terms of what they think the future, I think, of laptops will be, is what they're considering. So looking again off the Apple website, we have the new MacBook here. Its size is it's 13.1 millimeters thin. It's very thin. It's still not the thinnest, but it's a very thin device. It weighs 2 pounds. It's got a 12-inch Retina display. And you can see it comes in 3 different colors. You've got gold, space gray, and silver. I do like that space gray color there. A full-size keyboard in a fraction of the space. So you can see the keyboard is almost edge to edge. And it's also got some new tactile efficiency. So they really spent some time out with the keyboard and how efficient the keyboard is. Speaker grills there on the top. You've also got a new touchpad. The Retina is, of course, as I mentioned, it's revisioned. This is the display resolution, 2304 by 1440, 16 by 10 aspect ratio. So again, typical Apple with a off resolution look, but it's something that I think at least it is up there in terms of resolution and look. Now, the trackpad has a new, what they call, Force Touch. So basically, to summarize, I call it basically, right click on there. But it's a nice way of doing it according to what they demoed and showed. But we definitely have to see how that is. Now, the big controversy of the new MacBook is that it only comes with technically 2 ports. So now on the other side, there is a headphone jack. And then on one side, there is USB-C, or reversible USB port here. And that's the only port available for this here. So this is a USB-C port. And what that means is that basically you do have a device here that has one single port for charging, data transfer, all that fun stuff. So if you were to say you needed to charge your laptop as well as also connect it to a monitor and also transfer data via regular USB, you need to get an adapter, which costs about $80, $79.99 from Apple. It's not bundled in. And also, even though this thing is still big enough to have a couple more ports, Apple just decided to go with 1 port on this device. So a lot of people have talked about that, and the fact that, of course, there's no SD card expansion, just to let you guys know. This, of course, is running the new Intel 5th Gen Intel Core M processor. This is, I'm not sure if it's the exact same processor as the Yoga 3 Pro, but it's the same line of processors at the very least on the Yoga 3 Pro. They promise 8 hours of battery life. I'm going to say 9 hours of battery life. At least they call it all-day battery life. It's on standby. So we'll have to see how all that stacks up here. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the new MacBook? We have Mike Check here. Says, waiting to see what the 2nd generation will look like, because like every other Apple product, the 1st generation will be relevant when the 2nd one hits. So I believe you're referring to the Apple Watch itself. And then he also gets Apple updated software. Apple update software has a history of not working well on older devices. How can you justify $17,000 for a watch that won't last as long as a Rolex? That's a very good point. That is a very good point, especially the fact that with a smartwatch like that, eventually once you pull it out of the box, it's going to lose value. And it's not going to maintain value. I think at the very least it will hold the value of its weight in gold. As much 18 karat gold is in there is how much you can justify the price of the Apple Watch. So I think that's what you have there, and also the fact that it's not a Rolex, it's not a tag. It's something that it's not going to last as long in any form or function. So that'll be very interesting. I believe we have Sam with us. Maybe his audio is still trying to queue in. Sam, you there? Hey, Sam. I think he's still not up yet. But going back to the new MacBook. The new MacBook is very thin. It's very slick. One of the things that I like the fact that they've gone with a slimmer design. I like the fact they've gone with the fanless chipset. This is not a power machine, so we're not going to judge it as that. We still are not going to have a touchscreen OS X device. It looks like Apple is not going into that avenue as of yet, because we're not going to be getting that. OS X is probably not even. It is the infrastructure for that is just not there. But looking at what this device brings to the table for Mac users, this is something that you could really say on the PC side we already have, or we've had for a while, with things like the Yoga line of laptops. My only thing is, of course, that concern with the software. With the USB-C port, which is it's one port that limits you to a lot of things, and in terms of functionality. And I think Apple is trying to move to that wireless generation, and we're still not there with wireless tech. So I'm not sure how that will actually move forward there for you. So let's see what we have here, and let's go ahead, switch that back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It looks like Sam is stuck in little limbo over there. Not sure exactly, but hopefully he can join us. Like, we can't hear you, Sam. We really cannot hear you, even if you're trying to talk or say something on there. But so that's the new MacBook. I want to get your thoughts. Like, what do you guys think? For me, I think Apple is trying to push the boundaries to the limit of something that it needs to actually. I think Juan said it best when we had a wrap out hangout of the Apple event. The fact that the PC market of the laptop needs to die. It needs to go away. I'm not saying that laptops need to forever disappear, but I think that we're in the age of convertible devices or convergence devices, twin ones and things like that really bring more functionality. And I think Apple is trying to push to the max what they can get with the new MacBook, rather than say let's expand and do something different, which is very interesting and odd from Apple. Wayne Glasgow says, What is the justification other than being thinner for getting a new MacBook when there are other Apple laptops that are cheaper and more powerful and not much thicker? Very true, Wayne Glasgow. So I forgot to mention the price. The new MacBook has two prices: $1299 as well as $1599. $1599, of course, comes with a 512 gigabyte SSD as well, 8 gigs RAM. That's the maximum you can go with. And then, of course, the $1299 is your starter, I believe, with 256 and 4 gigs of RAM. So yeah, it does really make sense where you can either go with a MacBook Air, or like say you spend more money. If you're an Apple fan, you just go with MacBook Pro and be done with, and you get at least your ports, more power, more juice, and all that fun stuff in there. But we have Warren with us. How's it going, man?
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good. So yeah, we're just
All
talking
right,
about.
thumbs up. Let's do this.
Yeah, he's finally here, late as usual, but he's here.
Wasn't my fault, man. Other people are messing up.
So yeah, I was just giving some wrap up on the new MacBook Air, the new MacBook and the Apple Watch. So your thoughts, because I know we didn't get your thoughts on the new MacBook and the Apple Watch. Let's start with the new MacBook since we're talking about that now. What are your thoughts on that device? And before we even continue, because I wanted to mention this, just like since we're not big Apple guys here, we'll try and give you guys as fair as balanced our thoughts and justifications, not to necessarily pan it all around. Because yeah, there is some justification for any device that's built out there. So go ahead, Martin, your thoughts.
Hold on a second. Oh, my thing's messing up here. My thoughts sort of on the there we go. On the Apple, as far as the MacBook Pro or MacBook, whatever this is just them. They're trying to sell it as a luxury fashion item, not so much an actual computer. And when you look at these specs, I mean, you talking about dual core RAM. I think that's just Intel trying to sell this very late core RAM processor out here, which should have been out, I think, a year and a half ago, and it just finally is making its way out. So I think they're trying to push as much inventory of that out as possible. The laptops, I mean, anybody looks at a spec sheet, which I'm pretty sure the Apple will eliminate at their stores, so you can't tell the difference. Will look at this and say, I'll just spend the extra money. I'll get myself a MacBook Pro because it's not necessarily that much heavier of a laptop. It's just as nice, and you get more power and you get better bang for your buck. Clearly, on the Mac side of things,
Or
which
you could go with a MacBook Air, which still is a Core i5.
which I'm sure they're going to eliminate. So, I
No,
mean,
they just updated. So I mean,
yeah,
right now it's
right.
updated. They updated two. These are 2015 MacBook Air and MacBook Pro, and then this is this one in the middle.
It's updated. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be limited supplied. I know them. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. But I'm just
this
saying,
is this is this
if
is them.
you're
Oh,
looking at the options right now, might as well go with that. If it's not like
I
it's
wouldn't even go with Air. I literally at the price range that that's at. If you're looking to spend $12.99, at MacBook Airs are $300 less. If you're going to spend $12.99, you might as well get yourself a Pro. Period. There's just almost no other reason to get the MacBook other than you want something that's in shiny gold.
well. So the MacBook Air, 11 and 13 prices start from 899 for the 11-inch, and go all the way to 1200 for the what do you call it again? The 13-inch. It's a dual core i5, and they all have 4 gigs of RAM. So that's where your limitation will be with the Air. And of course, the MacBook Pro, just give people pricing here. I actually went to the new MacBook again. Starts at 1,099, goes all the way up to 2,500 for 15-inch. So from 13 to 15, different price configurations in there. There's more price configurations I actually thought Apple would even have. Jesus Christ, they're like six.
Oh no. They for the MacBook Pros, they definitely price. They do. Anyone, it's like they no. They. I'll give them credit. They operate like Dell. You see one configuration, but you can go in and change it as you want. So you can put the different amounts of RAM or processor and upgrade as you go along. But I'm just looking at the 13-inch MacBook Pro with Retina display at 1299, right? That's comparative to the let me see, it's you got 8 gigs of RAM, 120 gigabytes of flash-based storage, Intel Iris graphics, built-in battery, Force touchpad, blah 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 blah. That is 1299. And now we go here to the MacBook, the return of the Mac, whatever the hell you want to call it. Just choose the shiny gold because yeah, that's what everyone's going to choose. You got an Intel Core M processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigs of storage inside of it. You look at that comparison for the same, what is it, 1299, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back here to Retina display. I mean, why? Why would you, other than you would want gold and you're complaining about your your weak little girly arms can't carry point 0.1 extra pound of weight?
Wow.
I'm serious. Like, if I see you with that, I'm gonna call you out on it. Like, why'd you buy that? Oh, because it's shiny gold. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Like you just look at it. It's like it's too obvious. Like, why? And you get the same Retina display. You get a bigger screen out of it. You get more RAM. The only thing that you're losing is storage. And you shouldn't have that much storage built into your computer anyways. On a laptop, at least, you should be backing your things up externally or somewhere in the cloud. So. 128 gigabytes is more than enough storage for most people.
Well, I mean, that understandably so. I think there's a place for the MacBook Air if it wasn't designed.
No, the MacBook.
Sorry, the MacBook. If the new MacBook,
Yeah.
if it wasn't totally designed the way it was, where Apple decided to strip out. So I saw a comparison from somewhere, and I have the Yoga Pro 3 here. The Yoga Pro 3 is thinner than the MacBook Air, and I think it was The Verge. The Verge was trying to justify why being thinner, like being first to market, which was the Yoga 3, doesn't mean you're better. And you're trying to say that the MacBook Air is better. But then I'm looking at the picture comparison.
Talk about the MacBook, not the MacBook.
Sorry, the new MacBook. Sorry, I keep calling it the Air because I mean, like you said, it's going to pretty much replace it. But you look at the size comparisons. The new MacBook is 13.1. The Yoga is 12.8, right?
Yeah.
And in that 12.8, what did they add there? USB ports, right?
Yeah.
Their charging port. Again, so that's 3. SD card slot. That's 4. What else again? Headphone jack, right? 5. And then what does that do? It opens and folds the other way. So you get a tablet with it.
Well, no, this is. I almost made a rant video on this particular, but I stuck to the other video that I made. That's I think of quite a few you probably have seen by now. But which we'll get to that when we get to the second half of this Apple discussion. But I mean, you know what you're paying for with this? You are clearly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, paying to use Mac OS. That's what you're paying to do. You literally, their free operating system, which all they did was just throw the cost of what it costs for the operating system inside what the actual cost of the hardware is. Don't get it twisted. So that's what you're paying for. You are paying to use Mac OS at that level, at that
Hey,
price.
Sam, can you hear us? Or is he frozen? He looks like he's in one position.
Oh, no, his eyes moved.
His eyes moved.
He's on mute, but his eyes moved.
Yeah. Can you unmute yourself?
And we can't hear you.
No sound. But we're here. We're here.
There is sound. Calm down. You can't hear me.
Wow.
I need to set up. Because Google really just fucked up this morning.
Oh yeah.
Sorry for the language, guys, but Google just really just like threw a head ball this morning.
And in brighter news, Sam has a Titanfall statue right behind him on his right hand side.
Oh yes, it's the awesomeness of Titanfall right there.
Well, yeah. So we'll wait for you to set up. But go ahead.
No, setup is done. You can see me in picture. You can hear my voice, and I can hear you guys. So
all right,
let's do this.
Like I'm even looking at this. This season have a lesser graphics card. Yo, excuse my life. Fuck this MacBook. Like this, no. Fuck this thing. Like, no.
Looks like
Ladies and gentlemen, the show has officially begun.
Yes.
So okay, before we go to Apple Watch, let's quickly your thoughts, Sam, on the new MacBook. Now you've seen it, you've seen all the stuff in there spec-wise.
I'm just gonna put it this way: a company known for design is so great in its design that basically there are gonna be multiple wires just like sprouting from that one dongle in your, in your MacBook. It's just silly. I'm like, it's nice. You want to go with the new futuristic, USB-C. That's cool, but one port. Seriously, one port? It's like saying...
And then they all try to justify it. Every one of these websites tried to justify the one port thing. No, you can't. No, you can't. This thing is spec worse than a Chromebook Pixel.
Ooh.
A Chromebook Pixel.
Yeah. Well, how many USB-Cs does it have?
I think it has 2.
Two USB-C.
I think, and that's a glorified browser. I don't give a damn how much they make it look like. It's a glorified browser. And this thing right here, you are paying $12.99 to use OS X. That's what you're paying for with this. That's all you get out of this.
From my perspective, though, the way I see this is like Apple was competing against the Surface, and the Surface just basically is laughing its ass off because the Surface has one USB, but check this out, it's a freaking tablet as well. You don't need multiple ports. You put it in a damn dock.
Well, it has micro SD card.
Oh yes, micro SD card as well.
It has its own independent charging port.
You can put it in a dock and you have three USBs on that dock, plus the USB on the device, making it 4. So it's like, yeah, you guys weren't competing against the right thing, you know. You guys,
that you mentioned that with the Surface, right? I think the Surface Pro 4, we're going to see 2 versions or two continuing lines.
Well,
we're going to see a Core M Surface right? That's cheaper. That would start at like either that $799 price point, right? With then the new i5, the 5th generation i5, pushing to the highest points of the Surface.
You know, to be
and I think Microsoft will do a USB-C for charging, and then they'll add like 2 USB ports just for the heck of it.
No, to be honest, what I think with that, I actually, interesting you bring that up. I honestly think it's going to be spec refreshes on the Surface Pro 3, and they'll come out with that mini one. That will be their main thing that they push out. I don't know if I don't think they're going to be. I don't think it's going to be a 4.
No, I don't think there's a mini. Because from the way that they talked about the last mini, they didn't like what it offered at all. Like literally, it was canceled that day.
But they didn't have.
It was canceled that day.
But you gotta remember, they didn't have a Core M processor to go with it that this would be perfect for. Like this is what the Core M is meant for.
Yeah, true. I mean,
I think we're digressing though. We're talking about Apple here. Let's keep bashing the Apple.
But we have a question here from Kosi84. It says, how does the performance of the Core M do against the i3 or the i5? It's better than the i5 in terms of performance. The Core M, I think, can give you solid performance all around. The problem with the Core M is once you start maxing out your juice, means your battery life goes the other way. That's just the problem with the Core M. It's a fanless chipset.
The Core M is a very, very fancy i5 that you don't need a fan for.
Yeah.
And it's designed to just make thin products. That's what it's made.
That's the 14. It's 14 nanometers, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the next generation is when they're gonna here we go. Here's the power that goes with this, then this, and the next way around.
Yeah, but if you look at the design of sorry, I moved us away from the Surface, now I'm moving us back into the Surface. if you look at the design for the Surface, you can tell that the Surface is already designed for something like that. With the vents, the way its venting system works, it basically vents all across with the edge on there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually made a thinner Surface. But looking at the MacBook, I just don't understand what the design philosophy was behind that. The trackpad is so much larger. It's like
to get with the fashion industry. This is a play on fashion. This isn't a play on being a functional machine. This is a play to be in the fashion industry so Kanye West can rock it.
I definitely agree. I think that's the thing. And I had a talk with a friend, and she was saying that you're looking at it the wrong way. I said, look, Apple used to be the company, no matter how much I didn't like them and how much I thought they stole stuff from other people, right? But what they always did was they always try to bring functionality and design together. They literally tried to do that. Mm-hmm. Now it's literally just saying, here is design.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We'll end the MacBook discussion on this note. Let's be frank here. If the iPhone 5Cs were selling well, these would be the colors of the 5C, so you can match it with your 5C and then your clogs that go along with it. Oh. That's what this was going to be.
I'm not going to.
We have a few comments here on that before we just quickly move back to the Apple Watch for Sam. It says, I'm with Warren. This is Mike Check. He says, I'm with Warren on the MacBook. It's just a pretty slab of metal with a fancy USB Type-C port. And then Ivan says, concerning smart. Oh wait, okay. Before we go to smartwatch, he says, I'm an Apple user, but aren't you just better off buying a Chromebook or a Windows tablet for way less money? That's an Apple user there. Okay, so he's agreeing with that. And I think he has a question here on smartwatches. He said, concerning smartwatches, do you think the rumors about Android Wear possibly getting to iOS are true? And if so, how soon could you see this happen? Google I/O might be the first indication. I think if Google was smart, they need to, but there are things they need to fix because the card UI is not functioning at all. It's not even simplistic enough for understanding. So I think Samsung should actually just be the ones to open up Tizen, their smartwatch OS, and just throw it on everything and be done. Because that gives them at least a wider reach, and they're #1 leaders in that whole avenue. But Sam, Apple Watch thoughts, pricing, and everything else extra that we know. We know it goes from $399 to $17,000.
Well, I was just actually wondering where's Juan, because he had a really good opinion on it.
Juan he's out in the desert.
Oh, he's out in the desert. Oh, great.
Yeah,
Hopefully
he's
Digging for gold.
I thought he was soul searching.
For his own Apple Watch, for his own homemade Apple Watch.
Did he take some shrooms with him just to make sure that he got the, I'm just joking. Well, he had a really great opinion on this. I was actually reading one of his opinions. It was like there has to be some kind of defining difference just just from the look alone between the 300 plus iWatch and the
17,000 Apple
and the
Watch.
17,000, because at the end of the day, you're gonna see people with these knockoff like straps and stuff that are gonna make this $300 device look like a $17,000 device, and people are gonna go, "Oh, why did I spend 17 grand on this thing? Or why did I spend 10 grand? Or why did I spend 2 grand?" It just, to me, it's pointless. I think at the end of the day, Apple is trying to create an industry that's already been created, and it's people. Everyone else has now moved on to circular watches. Apple is still stuck on a square kind of form factor. People are moving away from just having your phone, your watch paired to your phone, and Apple is like, you need your phone for this. So like, you guys are years late to the game. You come out thinking you can basically topple the market with a $17,000 premium. Nah. There are droves and droves of Apple fans out there, so this might not be DOA, but to me, this is DOA.
I think one of the interesting things about the $17,000 Apple Watch is that was being insisted by John Ives. That was something he really stressed he wanted to put out there. That wasn't really the mindset. I think maybe they were thinking of maybe going to $1,000 watch like Max or something like that, and he was stressed, which will be fine. We go, okay, fine, that's $1,000 Apple Watch, okay, boohoo, whatever. But when you go into that Rolex guy, like, let me put this in the perspective of anyone who is thinking of buying the $17,000 watch. Just to put it in perspective, if you have $17,000, right, and you had two watches in front of you, but you're a big Apple fan, and you decide to buy an Apple Watch instead of that bright, I don't even think it's a Breitling that cheap, but let's call it a Rolex, fine. There's a Rolex at $17,000. Let me tell you what will happen when you choose to buy the Apple Watch over the Rolex. Once you open up that box, you will lose roughly $5K of the value of the watch. By next year, the watch will be worth its weight in gold. That is it. Now, if you bought that Rolex, 10 years from now, the price will still be what? 17,000.
Probably 17. It depends on what Rolex.
It might even go up.
Yeah, it might even go up. It depends on what you get. There's some vintage Rolexes out there you can get for 10. So it's like you could go out there and invest in a couple of Rolexes for the price that you're going to be spending on Apple.
And still like later on go, wow, actually but money up this.
But not to get into the I won't say political side or social discussion side of this, but last year there was an article about a CEO who went out and says basically, having a Rolex is almost like a badge of honor in the finance industry, and people were trying to rip into it, right? People were trying to rip into the, but now you have Apple making a consumer device for people who aren't CEOs of companies, saying, "Oh, okay, we're going to charge you 17 grand for this device," and no one has had that discussion of where on earth is Apple's kind of social consciousness at this point in time. No one has had that discussion because it is Apple and the Lord Johnny Ives. But come on, this discussion needs to be had. This is just ridiculous. At this point, it's like you're not giving us anything we haven't seen in any other watch, but you're charging us 17. Someone is charged 17 grand for a smartwatch. That's just
no. I mean, no. I would gladly love to check it out and show this to you guys. So I'm not saying that we would love to show it to you. I'm just saying that as you can see Warren's face that's giving us a lovely deadpan over there. He's like, nah, I'm not touching this. But anyway, let's move on.
I've already discussed this. I think you guys.
Let's move on from Apple and stuff.
I think you guys seen my video on this.
Yeah.
Times and discussed.
So there's also news that Cortana will be coming to Android and iOS. This was reported by Engadget and a couple of outlets. Microsoft is looking to use the same rebranding efforts that they did with Outlook, and maybe use integration with some of the other apps that they have to make Cortana more, continue to improve it to be more of that digital assistant rather than just being, say closer to Siri, more like Google Now, but with the digital assistant aspect to it, and coming to Android, iOS. What do you think about Microsoft doing that with Cortana?
Nobody
Good
jump
idea.
first.
It's a great idea. It's just an amazing idea. No, it's a good idea. Microsoft needs to create a. It's not even as though Microsoft is doing something new. Microsoft has tried this several times with trying to integrate like assistants into the Office programs and things of that nature. Now you're just taking it to its natural next phase, which is basically applying the same assistants, what they're calling a super assistant. If you're familiar with Windows 10, what they call a super assistant to all the other applications. Because right now it's pretty much front and center on Windows 10. The whole
Yeah, it is.
Cortana
I
super
mean,
assistant.
it's your search. Just
Yeah,
call it that.
you have a search bar there, and when you click on that, the first thing you see is that pinging dot that is Cortana. So I think it's a great way to go. I think it's also the fact that when you talk about a lot of voice recognition and voice to text technology, Microsoft pioneered a lot of this back in the 90s. So it's not as though they don't have the pedigree to do this. They have the history for this. It's just finally taking it to a ecosystem where everything is just really very well melded together.
Cool. All right.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to take some of these things that were maybe exclusive in the Windows Phone and move those services over into other more prominent operating systems, especially in larger countries like the United States. That it's just a very Android and iOS ecosystem. It's tougher. I think I think it's them going into that services type of thing that Microsoft's been moving into a lot lately, in cloud and all those things of that nature. So it makes sense for them to be that way, and I think it's just them. Not saying that Windows 10 is dead, but I think they're understanding where they are in the market with
And the
Windows 10.
limitations that they were taking.
The limitation is they know we're only going to get so high, and we're not going to. We're capped at this space. This is matured market. We were too late, and we're capped in this particular percentage. Well, and so I think they understand that, and understand that if we need to survive or be able to make headway into the mobile space, it's not necessarily having the hardware and operating systems, but it's having the software and services available across the board that's going to do us the best. So I think it's a good idea, like I said, for Microsoft to go ahead and get Cortana out there, and some of their other ones as well too, if possible.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a great idea. They're doing what Google started doing. I mean, became prominent with. Google is a service company and throughout its services on different platforms. Remember, Google search was the iPhone, right? Until they had to split things and all that kind of stuff. But it's the same idea. It's because like anything else, right? If you get hooked on a service, if you switch platforms, you want that service. That's just it. And if Microsoft can deliver, now they delivered Outlook. Apple users are like, oh, thank God, on an iPhone I can have email that actually works. So that drives that. They bought Sunrise Calendar, which a lot of people like, and rebranding that too, and that's also just pushing people on the same platform. OneDrive is taking up space. So having a digital assistant now, if Cortana can bring all those in together as one in a very seamless fashion. Kind of in the same way, like even on Windows 10, if you're using Windows 10 now, if you say Cortana play a certain song, as long as it's in your library, it will play it. So it goes down to that kind of nitty gritty personal assistant functionality. So as long as they can expand it, I think it's a very, very good thing on Microsoft's aspect. And to Warren's point of they know their cap is, I think they know well that their growth in Windows 10 would be tablets. And they may see some seepage into maybe phablets just because Windows 10 will play well with that. But that's about it. And they know where that cap is for Windows 10 on phone. So you might as well start broadening the services out there.
They're not looking at double digits anytime.
Yeah, they're not looking at double digits. But tablets is where you're going to see that growth.
Yeah, tablets and that space and hybrid devices where we're getting tablets and laptops and ultrabooks kind of merging together is going to be where they can make the most growth.
Yeah. Speaking of devices that could be tablet size. Some leaks for the LG G4 showed up. This is off one leaks through our good friends at Pocket Now. And as you can see that image, it looks very it looks like it's curved a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like the Flex.
Yeah, it looks like they're taking some of that Flex design in there. So it looks like it's curved a little bit. No
Bigger
one.
sensor, it seems, on it too.
What do you say?
It looks like it has a bigger camera sensor on it too.
Yeah, it looks like it
looks
yeah,
like laser autofocus is still there. It looks like the back buttons are getting a little bit of an update on the back as well too. That display looks like that's probably somewhere around the 5.8 range.
Yeah. Yeah, and also there is word that there is a fingerprint scanner. There might be a fingerprint scanner, which might be the way that button is placed that's flat now, as you can see, because you had like a little bump.
Yeah.
Before, so that might be where the fingerprint scanner is on there. Any thoughts?
Interesting. It looks like you'd have to slide your finger across to get the fingerprint scanner to work.
I hope not. I hope it's a press.
Yeah, but that just looks so thin.
No, there's a thin line in between. I agree, but the button itself is larger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I'm just hoping it's a press. I hope not.
No, it would be better if it's a press, because I think everybody's moving towards that something that Apple did that's actually pretty awesome, which is just leaving your finger on there and having your fingerprint being scanned.
Yeah. And just some of the back cases, but yeah, right. It looks like a G Flex. There, so I'm not sure. Mike Check says, I think Cortana moving to iOS and Android is a way for them to improve services with more people using them and help gather more information, which is very, very true on there. And for all you guys who are fans of all things Marvel, looks like Samsung might be giving you your Avengers themed Galaxy S6 devices, man.
Oh yeah,
6 Edge, Thor right there, blue with silver.
I want that Iron Man one.
Yeah,
I want that Iron Man one, but the green, man. If you guys have seen that green, the emerald green version they have, that thing is beautiful.
Hulk with emerald green, and then what's his name? Nick Fury and Scarlett Johansson. Black Widow ones are a little.
Hawkeye not pictured because who cares about Hawkeye?
I love that. Yeah, I love that. It was so cool. This from Pocket Now. Yeah.
Who posted that? Please tell me that was Michael Fisher.
No.
Oh no, it wasn't.
It wasn't Michael Fisher, but that is so funny. That is so funny.
Well, if you think about it, the Hawkeye colors probably isn't anything anyone.
It's purple.
Exactly.
His colors are purple. But I mean, you can make a purple one, and it's not like you can't.
Purple, purple on purple. Yes.
See,
purple and violet.
So according to this, it has Marvel. I wish it had the superheroes like insignias at the back, like Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
The Iron Man's like face logo and all that, or in the Hulk's face at the back. That would actually be really cool if
they got to sell a case though.
So do you realize that I am just probably gonna buy this just simply because I want to have an Iron Man phone? Just that's just wrong.
I mean, we know your nickname is Black Iron Man, but come on, seriously.
This is just wrong. No, this is just so wrong.
No, but it is
on the way of just hooking that.
Merchandising. We all know how that.
Great merchandising. It is just so amazing merchandising.
We have a couple of comments here. Mike Check says it's still frustrating to be a Windows Phone user and have one major feature that highlights the phone. That highlights that your phone just. Whoa, sorry.
It's so frustrating to be a Windows Phone user and have the one major feature that highlights your phone just be available to everyone.
Okay. So basically, you're talking about Cortana moving to everyone else's device. It's just one of those things. Like if Microsoft can pull it off, then why not? Basically, it makes it better for Windows Phone at the end of the day. Right, it makes it better for everyone. So saying that, yes, I can hear his frustration that this is the one thing that made his device special, but it makes your device better when there are more users basically, using that feature and improving on that feature. So voice recognition will probably get better. Search results will probably get better. So it's a give and take. I know, yes, we feel less special as Windows Phones user. I mean, you, Thunder D, would probably feel less special. I'm not a big Windows Phone user, but at the end of the day, I think it really will make Cortana a better experience for everyone.
No, I agree, but also I think you're going to get the best version or best service from still the Windows Phone because it's integrated. It's built into core. It's just like OneDrive. I have OneDrive on Android. I have OneDrive on other platforms. But man, OneDrive integration on Windows is just butter.
It is.
It is so butter. It is, especially on Windows 10, where as soon as you just sign in, it's like it's just like, would you like to set up your OneDrive or would you like to turn it off? Like it just tells you either if you want to set it up or not, and it's a smooth, seamless experience. So yeah, it will be will be better on Windows Phone, but for like Sam said, for it to get better, it needs to expand because the more users, the more the system's actually going to basically learn and also improve over time. We have a question from Wayne Glasgow here. Said, what do you think about CyanogenMod CEO saying Samsung will be slaughtered in the next 5 years? Yeah, he said this right after Mobile World Congress, I think sometime last week. And yeah.
Well, did he get his CEO skills from Notch? Like,
oh, stop talking about Notch.
Yeah, so to give some backstory, CyanogenMod and I don't know the full details, but I know that, they worked hand in hand with Samsung, for a while there, and they had a falling out. And I think this is stemming from that because he talked about how he's talking about Chinese companies, and I think the reason is because CyanogenMod is trying to get partnership deals with companies like Xiaomi and Huawei and ZTE so that they can be the OS suppliers for them. For those companies, and that's why you see that kind of statement. And I don't think Samsung, personally, I don't think Samsung will get slaughtered. I think Samsung has, looking at what their response from last year to this year, how quickly they said, okay, you know what, we messed up in certain places, and we need to fix that. And between September, when was the Galaxy the Alpha? Starting from the Alpha. Yeah, Alpha was the first stage of Samsung saying, okay, we understand we made some mistakes. Let's show you what we can do. And from the Alpha to the Note, where literally once the Note came out, everybody said this is the phone.
Let's just put it this way: one of the biggest things that people complained about when you talk about Samsung is, it really looks like a solid build, but it's plastic. It's plastic. And Samsung literally said, you know what? Let's take the biggest complaints and just ditch it. From the Alpha until the most recent phone that Samsung has made, which is the Galaxy S6, they're all well-built metal and glass kind of affairs. They're beautiful. And then look at the OS. Samsung has also addressed the issue with the OS, not as much as I would have liked, but they're addressing the issue. So Samsung is learning. Now you look at CyanogenMod. What have they done? What have they done in the last year?
Detriment plus one.
Have amazingly bad marketing. Amazingly bad implementation of a store play of basically the
marketplace
storefront or marketplace, because simply they're focusing on the manufacturers. They should be focusing on making partnerships with maybe Google, the guys who could probably give you a really great experience on your device if you partner with them, because Google's not gonna. Why would Google want to block CyanogenMod? From really, from actually taking Android as open as possible. I don't think Google want to block them that much. So at the end of the day, it's like you guys you're focusing on these manufacturers who they're essentially going to be making skins for and having a bad marketplace experience and probably questionable marketing. And then you're saying Samsung, which is doing better year over year, is learning from its mistakes, is going to die in 5 years. Nah.
It's funny you mentioned it.
Oh, go ahead.
Now I was going to say quickly because word today came out from Bloomberg that Microsoft is not going to be investing in CyanogenMod. It's a venture capital group that's going to give them $110 million, which means their valuation goes to $15 billion. And I was really hoping that if they were smart, like if you don't want to go the Google route, Microsoft is around because they can give you email, storage, calendar, and voice app all in one, and you can throw that as under your alternative on CyanogenMod. But you're right, because Warren basically hinted there. They literally destroyed 1+1 because the software that they threw out for that thing just did not help the phone at all. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, well, but actually, let me just say this one thing though. I'm not blaming CyanogenMod for the marketing because I've read items out there or articles out there that says that CyanogenMod was not involved in the marketing per se. But the fact that they did not have enough say in one of their biggest premier device, their first hardware device, says to me that these guys they're not serious players. They're just not.
No, they're not, and for them to come out and kind of say, "Oh, Samsung's going to be dead in 5 years," mind you, they're the ones that basically made one of the scummiest moves on OnePlus One, and the way they went about saying, "Oh, we're gonna kind of support you. We're here for the long. We're gonna kind of Indian give this one. We'll support the OnePlus One, but we're gonna go do these other things kind of over here for a little while." And OnePlus One is basically giving a giant middle finger to this, and we're gonna go make our own OS. Screw you. You're not the only developer out here. like I don't know what CyanogenMod thinks they're special, because they're not. Because guess what? Every other manufacturer can do what you do.
And it's not even that. Like the better Android, vanilla Android gets, the more clean and the more usable it gets, the less and less people want to use something like CyanogenMod. They matter less. So.
I don't think they're getting it. It's like in the manufacturers, like Samsung and LG go, "Oh, finally, Google's giving us these great operating system. We can just throw a few things to customize to our look, but we don't have to go as deep in as we did before. Maybe we can pull some of our stuff out, maybe just sell through the store instead of having to put it inside of the baked into the operating system. Gets our updates out faster, keeps our phones a lot cleaner, helps us sell a lot more, gives us more options to do things." And you know, this is just like this is the sign when CEOs say silly things like this that they're on the way out. It's going to be a slow level to irrelevancy coming really soon for them.
A slow march to irrelevancy.
And it's comments like this that you start to say, and it's like, why would you say something like that? Especially if you want your operating system on the #1 selling Android phone in the world. Like why would you want to, regardless of the business, maybe you guys didn't agree on something. And this is why nerds need to hire. This is why geeks, nerds, and techies like this that have no business savvy whatsoever need to hire a CEO that knows jack about tech but knows business. Like
this is why Eric Schmidt became CEO of Google first.
Yep.
Exactly why. The other guy's going on. What's his name's going around and just jumping off buildings with Google Glass. He knows. Go make me money, and I'll tell you what I'll go here and make something cool, and then you take it and go make me money, and that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing here.
I think what it is with that point is that a lot of these guys think they are Bill Gates or Steve Jobs.
And those guys are
a rare breed. There's a rare breed.
They have business savvy. These guys don't have.
Yeah, exactly. It's savvy. A rare breed of or the CEO of Cisco. What's his name again? I can't remember. But those guys are a rare breed of. They know what consumers want, and they also know how to make it, or they know the tech themselves. And it's not, if you know your strengths, like I said, don't damage what you're trying to do as a company. Try and move that forward.
Look at the it's mentioned you say that you say Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, very rare breeds. Think about we didn't get another guy like that until a guy named Mark Zuckerberg came around.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
that's how
you shows up. You really have to also look at the Google guys, Sergey Brin and
I kind of grouped them. I'm sorry.
Why am I forgetting the co-CEO's name?
Andy left.
Andy left.
Yeah, but anyway, Mike. No, sorry, not Mike. Before I go to Mike, IGH says Google wants to block CyanogenMod because the privacy setting, because CyanogenMod does not allow Google to collect data through their OS. So most likely.
Yeah, Google can get data from multiple different ways.
Mike Check says I think Cortana moving to iOS standards. Okay, yeah, we already answered that one. Sorry. Yeah. Anything else in tech before we just quickly move to entertainment and wrap up? Anything else that I missed this week? Because I don't think there was much other than that main Apple focus.
Yeah, it was just the main Apple focus that happened Monday, and I don't really think anything else.
Oh yeah, it's the Nexus 6 is coming to Verizon.
Yeah.
And moving on to entertainment.
From this year.
The 1M8 is going on sale in
1M9.
Sorry. See, I'm actually looking at it right here. It says M9.
Well, because you have to remember. So the big difference. So just in case anybody's wondering, the big difference. M8 has 2 cameras and M9 has 1. Everything else, the body looks really nice.
Sam, it's just bad. That's bad.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting up freaking HTC, man.
Sprint's rolling out Android 5.0 for the Note 4. That's coming out. I'm actually updating our Sprint review model right now to it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and also iOS 8.3 beta is live, public beta, which is actually rare for Google. I'm sorry, Apple.
Now, did you guys get a chance to talk about the whole potential being a line in HTC?
Yeah, we talked about that last week when we did the MWC chat out.
And I wasn't here. Just wanted to see.
The best thing we liked was the Vive, but we all know that was made by Valve. And the body was designed by HTC, so that kind of didn't. To me, it was kind of like, for HTC, your best product is actually not something you made.
Yeah, but it's also a very interesting concept of bringing gamers to the phone, right? So like.
Yeah, really, but it doesn't require a phone, though.
No, it doesn't require a phone, but the fact that. True. But the fact that HTC is partnering up with these game developers kind of says that HTC is almost one of the first companies that are going to be committed to bring in like real gaming, like full 3D immersive gaming to the phone. And I hope they actually do that, because that might be a big differentiator for them.
I mean, it might be, but again, it doesn't take away the fact that, like if I wanted to buy it, or Warren or you wanted to buy it, right? We just go straight to Steam.
Yep.
And just pick it up. So like it almost disconnects, right? And again, that's going against more Oculus Rift necessarily than the Gear VR, because the Gear VR is different. It's almost like that's a VR accessory that you use on the personal, viewing and light gaming, while the Oculus and the Vive are hardcore, because you need processing power to push those bad boys.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, for me, I felt more of a disconnect, just because it just had nothing to do with the mobile space of any kind. This was strictly hardcore PC gaming that HTC helped them design, the look for it, which is cool, but it just didn't have that connect. We'll see. Maybe there's some integration with mobile phones, who knows altogether. But let's move on to entertainment. Couple of news this week. First off, the Suicide Squad, some stuff on the Joker in Suicide Squad. This is coming from El Mayembe from Latino Review, who actually is pretty good at leaking out a bunch of stuff. He says, I'm just going to read what he's saying here. It says, basically, today's Suicide Squad 5 is all about Jared Leto, the Joker. So what I've been told is that Leto's Joker is most likely definitely based off the Dark Knight Returns version. He's lean, he's scarred, but his suit does have broad shoulders. Joker works out in a cell like an inmate when he's interrogated by Amanda Waller. He's doing some stand-up push-ups, and it makes sense as Jared Leto says he's going to be putting up some weight as a Joker. So we're not getting a skinny Joker. We're getting a little bit more muscular Joker, similar to what's the Dark Knight Returns. He has bleached skin and not makeup, so he's going to be pale as heck. And it also is referenced that he killed one of Batman's sidekicks. So there is Robin in this universe, and one of them is dead, according to this rumor. And the Joker will also have some scenes with Hugo Strange. So just your thoughts. What do you think about a slightly more muscular Joker? I like that personally, just because at skinny Joker, whenever he fights with Batman, I'm like, I don't see how this guy's supposed to win. Doesn't make sense in my head.
Muscular Joker said, I don't think this guy's gonna win.
Anybody fighting with Batman, how do they win?
Give some physical presence, not necessarily saying that he's gonna win, but you know how you have like just a skinny, because you watch some of them, you see a skinny Joker, and you're like, Batman's gonna break
even if the Joker was freaking a 2-ton behemoth, right? The thing is this: Batman is a samurai or a ninja. He's been treated by the best of the best of the best, the League of Assassins. And some dude who is a crime boss is just going to, be
no.
punch on him.
But remember what makes the Joker the scariest, right? I think the best thing is if anyone wants to. I think my best interpretation of Joker is go watch the World's Finest, the animated with Batman and Superman, and the first time Superman meets Joker, he just walks in with a lead suit because Joker had kryptonite. He was just kind of like, I don't know who you, I don't care, and he walked past him, and Joker was like, I have something up my sleeve, and he just
acid
chucks a whole bucket of acid on him and starts like pounding Superman. Superman's like, this guy's crazy. Batman's like, I told you, he's nuts. I told you from the beginning, this guy does not do anything practical. That's where Joker's biggest fear is from. So
he's insane, given, right? He's willing to do things that Batman would never ever think of doing. But from a fight perspective, I am so sorry.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, no, that would give you Joker might land one punch.
I don't think he ever has another punch.
Oh, he did in the Dark Knight. He hit him a couple of times. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he did. He hit him with a stick, and then.
No, I'm talking about physically punching him.
And then he's like, you got to use something to hit me. You can't hit me directly. So yeah, I guess so. But it'll be interesting to see how that. And then also on Suicide Squad, yes, this is Ivan also points this out. He is rumored to be Deathstroke. I can't remember his name. His name is Joe Magliano. Anyone who's ever watched what's that show? True Blood. Yeah, True Blood. He was the werewolf guy. I mean, the guy is in physical shape, and
he is in pretty good shape.
In terms of being Deathstroke, I think for an imposing presence, probably he would be a good choice. But the rumor here is that he is playing a
Verizon ad.
I know, right? I'm getting it from Latino Review. He's playing and it just keeps popping up. He's playing a super powered Deathstroke. So he's just purely an assassin. He hasn't lost his eye yet at this point. But basically they're setting him up as the main villain in Suicide Squad. So he and Will Smith will be going toe to toe at some point in the movie, because Deadshot is the bad guy / good guy in this movie in there. And I think that is it I have for anything entertainment. I don't think there's anything else major this week other than Tomorrowland trailer, which is a Disney park ride that actually looks pretty decent. Yeah. So I've
been to Tomorrowland before years ago.
Yeah, the check out the trailer. The trailer actually looks very nice, and it's George Clooney in his revamped stages in his career of playing the older George. Although somebody had a comment, because in the trailer is George Clooney and the doctor from House are both in there, and someone was like, two ER doctors fighting over this little girl. I saw a comment. I can't remember where I saw it. I was just like, wow. ER doctors, that's crazy. That's so wrong. So that's anything else we missed? Just so we can go over before we wrap up here quickly.
No, I think
nothing really.
All right, cool.
Anything really popped this week? We did cover that iPhone watch thing.
The Apple Watch? Yes, we covered.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah,
we covered the Apple Watch altogether, and just see if there's any comments here in the YouTube video. I know that somebody just posted some comments here. So this is from Spy Keda Jade Dragon. And I believe she goes, or I could be wrong from the image. You guys are missing the point. You guys are missing the point of these products. It's fashion meets tech for sure. It's not for us tech heads. I'm not sure if what Apple is trying to do will succeed. But the new MacBook and Apple Watch products are for people who already are entrenched in the Apple ecosystem. These people will use AirPlay for video out, and this won't be their primary computer. This is for those that use their iPad plus a keyboard case. True.
I don't know how true this is. I don't know if I agree with that. This is for people who use an iPad plus a keyboard case. Guess what? That's like $500 total. Everything.
No. Why I said I agree is that he's right. It's like this is for the Apple ecosystem. This is for the people who.
But that's what Apple's been doing since the S5 or the 5S.
Yeah.
They've been making just products for. Okay, you got it. you hit him because you look like you hit him. So they've been making products for basically people who are already entrenched in the Apple ecosystem. People keep saying that Apple is growing, but Apple growth is only happening because they're moving their market to places like China. And I think this is a huge problem for Apple. If you can't, the market you already have is what you're building for. You're not building for people to, potentially, enter into your ecosystem. If you're just building for people who are already in the ecosystem, what happens when the next best thing comes out and is not made by Apple, and you start hemorrhaging people? You left with an issue like Sprint.
That's current Apple right now. You know how we've complained over a couple of Hangouts that Apple is not spending its money. Yeah, they're doing a car project, but they're not looking to expand. How come Siri came out? Siri never hit any other platform, didn't I mean, like, you started this whole thing with voice recognition assistants on your smartphones, and Google is going to be launching Google Now on yours. You have all these your own services. iTunes is not available on any other device. I mean, you would think by now, like, if you're the number
iTunes
one,
is irrelevant now with Spotify. So
I mean, I know, but I'm saying that they killed themselves out because another alternative came up on Android, and it was like, woo!
Yeah, Google Play Music to me is just
yeah.
I mean, no, I know the alternative. I'm saying that, but think about it. When iTunes was big, right? It would have been smart to just put iTunes everywhere and have it control the market. Yeah, you're going to lose market share, but if you control 30% of the market on Android, that's extra revenue, right? I mean, I'm just saying. So I mean, I do agree with you guys. I just think it's one of those things that Apple is continuing to cannibalize its market base continuously. So we'll see. But anyway, let's wrap up this video. Before we go ahead and finish up, just our usual routine of what we can expect next week. So we're going to start with Warren because we know what we're going to expect for Warren.
Thanks.
It should be stuff, not things. Usually it's stuff. Come on.
Things and stuff.
Things and stuff. All right. And how about you, Sam?
See this thing behind me over there? Yes, right over there. That white little device. Slide over that one right there. Yeah, that's what we should be seeing next week. I'm going to be finalizing the video on that. And,
that is a 3D printer.
It's an Ultimaker 2 3D printer. It's pretty interesting, pretty awesome, and I think you guys will actually like, what I have to say about it. So stay tuned.
Cool. In my part, I finally did the soundbar. Yay! And the X99 build, the video will be up. I'm just finishing that up altogether. But the soundbar is done. I actually literally was doing the X99 video. I was like, I should just finish this song.
I guess on a soundbar perspective, I might be doing a soundbar soon as well. I don't know if it'll be ready for next week, but this is, you can see also I have a Play 1 behind me, but that's the whole system. I have 2 Play 1s and the whole Sonos 5.1 surround system. So we might be giving you a quick look at how to set a Sonos 5.1 surround sound system up. And for those of you who are interested in the Sonos system, or like me, you have an aversion to wires. So
okay, aversion to wires. All right, cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining and watching. Thanks everyone for commenting and asking questions. Also, want to thank Sam as well as Warren. And you can definitely check out Mr. Warren Bowman at BWone.com. You can subscribe to his channel.
There's a W in it.
What is it?
You said B1. There's a W in there, man.
Oh, right. There's a V1. My bad. BWone.com. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's right on screen. Oh, wait, your image is inverted. Is it?
Is it inverted?
That's a connection.
I could be
Why
wrong.
Is it inverted? No, it is inverted. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's BWone.com. Subscribe to his channel. Check out his stuff. Also follow him on every other social media outlet. And you can also check out Mr. Sam, aka Black Iron _man. That is his Twitter handle. He's part of the Booredatwork network. And follow him on Twitter. He might tweet out stuff. He might not. I don't know what he does on Twitter at all. And myself, Thunder E. It's Booredatwork. You can follow me on YouTube and all our social media outlets. Subscribe to the channels. And stay tuned, guys. Next week, we'll be back at 12 p.m. And I think Mr. Weinbach now will be back then. So always enjoy your entertainment.